Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a funky game. It is a bit of Zerg versus Protoss, a best of one and two amazing players. So let me introduce them to you. Up in the top left position we have got the red Protoss player from Root, it's puCK. And her opponent down in the bottom right, the blue Zerg player from Team Incredible Miracle. It is MVP. Seriously, this guy, awesome. puCK, currently at the time of casting this game, is ranked 3rd GM. Pretty good, like getting up there. Yeah, that's an understatement. Like 3rd best in the GM ladder. That's awesome. Like, I know there's a lot of things about ladder rankings which don't strictly run true. It's like, well, what's Star-Tailed Life's ladder ranking? I don't know. But most players who are up there in GM, very good. So a good indicator still, GM ladder, that actually if you're at the top of that, you're doing very well. You can't get there just by playing a whole ton of games. You have to be very talented too. So as we see here, probe coming in from puCK, very early scout, because this is on Star Station. Force cross spawn positions, but you've always got to be a little bit careful, especially when you put this pylon down, because puCK probably going to be going now for a Nexus first play, and that's fine as long as your opponent isn't going for really early aggression. And something that a lot of Zerg players at the moment aren't afraid at all of doing is that early aggressive play. Things like 8 pulls, 10 pulls, etc. Quite common. Actually, get a couple of Zerglings out and see what happens, because most of the time you can definitely cause a bit of pain. Even if there's a gateway first opening, you can really cause a bit of a problem. If there's a forge first, then you cause a rush down on the wall off, you still delay the Nexus. Not too bad. Now, we do see MVP busy trying to fight away this probe. Like, I want to make a hatchery. Let me make a hatchery. Please, let me just hatch. Stop running away. Look, this is like a horrible little dance ending with a pylon block. Like, seriously, have you ever had a dance that ended in a pylon block? Maybe. It depends what your friends are like. I've certainly got some friends who try and pylon block me after I've had a dance with someone. But yeah, anyway, probe now coming down here to the 3rd, because what you do as a Zerg player, if your natural gets blocked, you're like, well, I'm going to need one of these anyway. So I'll just get my 3rd now, especially when the Overlord... Has the Overlord even come over here? Wait, what? No? Overlord's still up here. So currently MVP hasn't scouted this to know that that's there. This poor drone, I feel really bad. He just sat still for ages there. He was just like, I give up. Screw it, I'm just going to sit here. This probe is not going to go away, but it did. And then the hatchery was made. Drone ready. 3rd comes up simultaneously, so now I don't have to get confused and try and explain one as being the natural, one as being the 3rd. Second base, who cares? This is the 3rd from now on. Zerglings are out and, of course, are doing a nice little number on this probe, who's busy running away. This probe, seriously, 4 minutes 20 into this game, is puCK's hero. Like, blocking those bases like a complete boss, forcing these Zerglings to chase it around, allowing time for the wall-off cannon to be completed, and still not dying. Like, legit, this probe has had it all. He is going to die, most likely, and that makes me a bit sad, because he deserved a nice retirement. To go back, go and maybe get a promotion, go and become part of a Skytoss fleet, maybe a carrier commander, but no, it's not meant to be. One more hit, and this poor probe is going to die. The Zergling is so eagerly. Look at him jump occasionally. Ready, boom. He got so close. Literally a couple of feet away. But no, it was never to be. Now, anyway, back to this game. Not about Adventures of Mr. Probe. We do have the all the hatcheries on their way down. Just all of them. He's taking all... It only looks like 3, but he's actually got all of them ever needed. That's just how MVP plays. Sitting here, we've got 2 gases coming up here. Adding to the 2 we've already got, that makes 4. 4 gases at this time, perfectly normal. Cybercore down. Zealot coming out. Interestingly, not a Stalker, but a very late Zealot nonetheless. He's just coming to deal with these Zerglings, forcing them back. So puCK making sure that she's got still a bit of map dominance. Notice more Zerglings being forced out here by MVP, spreading them brilliantly on attack command to make sure that any proxy pylons that could be down are getting taken out. A lot more Zerglings also on the way. Interesting choice, actually, because when we take a look at what puCK's got, really not anything aggressive in the slightest. Center of the 2nd sentry queued up behind. This is not a push. So this means that with so many Lings coming out, wow, 20 more Lings on the way to join into 24 already. This is going to be a big shove. But with the sentries here, I don't know. He maybe... I'm not sure that MVP is going to be able to break this wall, and this is a big commitment. Like, a lot of Zerglings. Soon to be Speedlings. The Zealot does come forward. Did it see anything important? Oh, I don't know if additional Zerglings were spotted, but Zealot is running away now. Sentries coming. Oh, for goodness sake, please be careful with those sentries, because there's a lot of Zergling. Speed is still... Well, okay, speed is still 15 seconds away. That's okay. Zealot still playing a little bit. Sentries still playing there. They're being a good little bit of fun there. Stargate and Robo coming down. That means that there's only one gateway's worth of production. Warp Gate is still on its way. This is actually turning out to be quite good. Where is the wall of the sentries to be pulled back? Oh my goodness, this could be disastrous. And it is going to be disastrous for puCK. If the wall off was down, it would have been okay. The force fields try and come down in an emergency maneuver. But things now not looking too good. The Speedlings are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Probes getting taken out. Sentry in the main base is winning this fight. Voidway on its way out. Immortal on its way out. We see that the gateway is about to become a warp gate. That cannot happen soon enough. But still, these Zerglings are decimating this probe count. Oh my goodness, puCK. This was such a massive hit. Tries to go for the 3 pylon warp down. This could be game here. The Voidway will be able to help clean this up. But just look at this flood. This endless flood of units from MVP. Wow. That is painful to see right now. And of course, these are just getting streamed across. Pretty much no drones were made in the natural. It was just all Speedlings. Look at just the sheer number of Speedlings in this space. Now, puCK is down to 18 probes. Getting the 3 pylon wall off at the top. Is there any way puCK can make this work? It would be an absolute miracle if it was. The Voidway starting to work on the way down. The pylon's actually soaking up quite a nice bit of damage. More Zerglings are still in production though. MVP wants this ended. He does not want this going on anymore. puCK though has another side of this story. A second Voidway is now on the field, and as we can see, actually the Zergling count starting to get a little bit more manageable, but there's a massive Great Flood on its way through. Can puCK do the impossible and make this somehow work? Well, there's no production of units. The Voidways are trying to work it down. There is the Sentry here, but not enough energy for a force field. The Immortal is trying to complete the wall off. Is going to be able to do so, trying to buy enough time. That force field is such a long way away, though. The Immortal taking a huge amount of damage. Probes getting pulled. And I don't think... Wow. Using the probes to buffer for the Immortal to stay up. And the Zerglings. The Zerglings have been taken out. This is huge. How has puCK done this? Yes, there's another wave coming through, but there's still the Voidways here. The Immortal is going to fall, unfortunately. The main base is slightly exposed. Zerglings are going to make their way through. Still, MVP is doing nothing but flooding Lings. puCK trying to make another Voidway as quickly as possible. Trying to use that Mothership on the 2 already there to make something happen. But more Zerglings are streaming in. Photon Overcharge now triggered. The Zerglings taking more damage here. The main base, puCK is down to 22 probes. That isn't actually that bad. puCK is ahead by 1 worker. All MVP is doing is flooding more and more units. With the Photon Overcharge, no more Zerglings are coming in there with wall off completed. The Voidway's doing a nice bit of damage. A third Voidway coming out. I do not believe this. This game is sensational. How is puCK holding? This is insane. puCK still is managing to do it though. The pylon is about to complete. The wall off still trying to go down, but unfortunately a tiny little gap there. Zerglings once again streaming forward. Voidway's trying to clean them out. But I think MVP has conceded now that this Zergling attack just isn't going to end this game. Started droning in. He's like, what the hell is happening here? How did this not win the game for me? I did so much damage. 39 probes killed. But still, puCK is still at 23. Like, obviously, far fewer than she'd want, but hell, that's not terrible. But MVP is now droning like a madman. Okay, up to, okay, he's going to be going up to, 44 very quickly, 45 there. But what's his answer to these Voidways? Well, hang on, let's look at the Queen count. There's 2. 2 Queens, 3 Spore Crawlers coming down. Voidways could actually do some serious damage here, picking off some Overlords. All the while, puCK is just like, well, probes and pylons, and pylons and probes. They've got actually a lot of pylons, so I guess I only need probes. That makes my life easier. Zergling wandering around, where are the Voidways? They're making their way forward, and actually 3 Voidways against a Spore Crawler. That's going to get taken out quickly against 1 Queen. Not looking too positive either. 3 Queens, 3 Voidways, but of course the Queens 1 at each hatch. Now here we go, Prismatic Alignment needs to get triggered. It does do bonus damage to the Spore Crawler, but puCK choosing not to at the moment, instead just focusing down that Queen, microing back one of the Voidways. This is insane. These Voidways have been the saving grace. 1 Queen goes down. The next queen starting to get focused. 2 have been pulled here. The micro on these queens has to be brilliant. 1 void ray will fall. The transfuse amazingly timed, meaning that the void rays are going to get pushed back. So puCK not able to do much damage there. The queen's kind of trying to chase them down. Injects getting missed all the while. Important thing to note, the main was still injected, but the natural and third haven't been for a while yet. So this is adding to some delays in production. puCK is only 15 probes behind. All of the tech's back up and running quite nicely. The Stargate's there, additional gateways coming down, and a 4th for MVP. This game has blown my mind. Seriously blown my mind. puCK holding off that aggression, absolutely insane. This is one of the funkiest Zerg vs Protoss games I have cast in a long time. So yeah, incredible. Now, as you see here, Queens, they're starting to push up. They're trying to force these void rays back. Notice, actually, that in terms of resources lost, because of those void rays being so cost effective, actually, it's incredibly close. MVP losing 250 more resources than that of puCK. The puCK adding on now additional gateways, going up to 7 gates, plus that Stargate. This is an all-in. Going to try and do as much damage as possible. +1's there too. This is going to be a lot of aggression. Notice, for MVP, only Zerglings, nothing else. Zerglings and Queens is all that's on the cards. No Roach Warren, no Hydra Den, Lair. Well, the Lair is done, so we could get a Hydra Den down soon, but it's not there yet. An Evolution Chamber being opted for, no Spire, no nothing. Already Zealot Warpins starting to harass at this 4th base. The Void Rays moving back. MVP, he's pulling back all of these Speedlings. He's got to try and defend this, but he's going to lose the hatchery. Definitely, there's no way this can be held. The Zergling's moving in, but +1 is going to kick in fairly soon. No upgrades for the Lings either, which means that once +1 is in effect for these Zealots, they will 2-shot the Zerglings. More Zealots are getting warped in, knowing that, hey, my opponent has only got Lings. The Hydra Den is about to finish up, but can the Hydras get out quickly enough? But with the Twilight Council on its way down, there's the option, certainly the option, for Charge to get research, and that's when, of course, Hydras get less effective against those Zealots. This is massive, ladies and gentlemen. This is incredible. The Zealots are now pushing in. They do have +1. They 2-shot those Zerglings. A Time Warp missing the Queens, unfortunately, but the Zealots pushing in towards the 3rd base. MVP trying to get out those 16 Hydras as fast as possible. They will do some nice damage. Great force fields coming down from puCK here. Saves 2 of the sentries. 1 does go down, but the Zealots chasing down all the Queens, trying to deal with some of the anti-air. Now Hydras getting focused out incredibly quickly. Good reactions there with the force fields. puCK leveling out the supply count to be near exactly the same. This game is looking to be going into puCK's favour. MVP is losing so many units here, and the 3rd base is still getting focused by a couple of Zealots. More Warpins will be coming down. The Void Rays are still up. The remaining Hydralisks, well, a few more popping out, but with only 5 of them there. The Void Rays and the Sentries doing a surprisingly good job. The Void Rays will now fall. The more Stalkers coming into this mix. They are pushing forward, and there is the G from MVP. I'm in shock. puCK lost 40 probes this game, most of which in the early game against that early aggression. That 3-base Speedling all-in. It was an all-in. So many units flooded. Somehow, puCK didn't lose that and then turned around and won. That was incredible play by the Root player. Absolutely sensational. If you like that cast, you should like this video. Leave me in the comments. Leave me a comment right now. What did you think of that game? And I'm expecting to see just a page full of just wow or WTF, because that game, puCK, super impressed me right there. And of course, last thing is, as always, subscribe. I get new games up daily. I can't promise that they'll all be as amazing as that, but wow. If they're even a quarter as good as that, you should subscribe. But anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow with another new cast. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.